Birds have been decimating our tomato crop, and now they're into my bell peppers. We have tried a lot of different things. We've put out a slew of CDs all the way through the garden. You can see that video and my efforts to use the CDs. We used red fishing floats and orange fishing floats. It did not work. I used some netting I got at the big box store. They just tore through it. I'm tired of wasting my time and my money on things that don't work. So today is a very, very exciting day because we finally have an affordable, effective solution. My order from AmericanKnettings.com woven bird netting came in, and I'm putting it up today. The bird netting is installed and it looks great. It's been here for several days now, almost a week, and we've had no issues with birds inside eating the tomatoes. Yay, finally a solution. If I would have simply bought this to begin with, I would have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of work, and a lot of expense. Cheaper isn't always cheaper if you have to redo it and redo it and redo it. One thing I want to show you is I've added a 1x2 strip along here. I have another video link below to show you how I built this A-frame over the top. This is actually a T-frame with an arch on it and has supports. So this is a great support for the bird netting. I like using the 1x2s down here on the bottom. I simply have the netting sandwiched in between. It makes a nice solid base for this netting so the birds can't lift it up or get underneath it. I've also used my very inexpensive retention system here to hold the end of the netting here on the end of the grow box. As you can see, the rest of the netting lays down here nicely on the ground. Another advantage of using these 1x2 sandwiched here is I use these strings here and I can simply lift up or roll up the netting, and using these anchors here, I just use this line here. You can use baler twine to make this. I make a little loop and then I put the netting up inside, and then I would simply take that loop and hook it up and here on this nail, and it takes it up off the ground and I can work inside my grow box or my soil bed. Over here on this grow box, I don't have the wood on the bottom to give you a contrast. I am using this here to hold it up, but as you can see, it doesn't hold it up all the way. It definitely holds it up enough to keep it out of the way. But the problem I'm seeing is when the wind blows, the netting gets picked up, and you can see it's no longer effective here on the ends. This is a very happy LDS prepper. Glad to have this up. I'm glad that they're stopping eating my tomatoes. Once I put the netting up on the tomatoes, they came after my bell peppers. Once I put the netting up on the bell peppers, they came after my wife's bell peppers because we didn't have the netting up there. With the amount of tomatoes and bell peppers that we have thrown away because of bird damage, we have easily paid for this netting. If I was as smart as I am now, a year ago, I would have bought the netting much earlier and saved the loss of the produce. And I wouldn't have bought the other bird netting that cost me more time and effort and didn't work. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if you are prepared, you shall not fear. And if you want to protect your plants from birds, very aggressive birds, get some good netting that will last, the birds won't break through it, and save your produce and save yourself a lot of work. There's a link below this video where you can get this netting, where I got my netting at a really good price and with really great people. After a few more days of using the netting, I found that having the netting not anchored down somehow on the ground allowed the birds to get underneath. And so, as you can see, I've got the 1x2s on this netting here, and I've had a 100% success rate keeping the birds out. I came out here every day and checked my peppers because they were just eating the peppers every day. Since I've added the two 1x2s here on the edge and threw some dirt up on the ends here, I've kept the birds out completely. The fruit's staying on there, it's ripening, we're harvesting, it's wonderful. Now over here, you can do the same thing with the 1x2s, or as you can see, what I've done here is I just took some of the soil and just heaped it up against the side, and that has been working fabulously well too. Could not be happier with the sunscreen or the knitted bird netting I have from AmericanKnettings.com. Highly recommend them as a company and as a product.